Nation. Harry here, and this is a special interview with Marvin B., who's been very kind to the SMB Nation out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I believe. Good day, sir. How's it going?
Good day. It's going pretty good. Another sunshiny day here. Florida hot.
There we go. So you kind of have dual skill sets or dual things going on. First, let's talk about your business. Introduce yourself properly. You've been a computer in the computer field for 23 years. What's your story by day?
So by day, I have my network consulting business, MB Systems, and I've had that business for 23 years. I, of course, did computers before then and worked for some other people, did stuff on the side, and got to a point at the shop that I was at. And to make the long story short, they did not do on-site work. So everybody had to bring their computers to us, although the boss did allow us to go after hours and on weekends to work for people, as long as we purchased our items that we needed from him. And I said, I think I can do better. He told me I couldn't. So a week later, I gave him my resignation, started my business, and here we are 23 days later. It started out pretty much as just doing anything on site, but now I've pretty much created a niche where most of my clients are law firms, but it's all network support, administration, anything that you can think of for the business.
Okay. And have you embraced some or all of the managed services provider business model, the MSP business model, so the recurring revenue? Is that live in your business model?
It does. It's more of a hybrid though. And
Okay.
I kind of did managed services before I knew about managed services. Attorneys understand a term called retainer.
Yeah.
And so I was getting monthly recurring income by selling them retainers. So I would get that every month and do whatever needed to be done as long as it, stayed within the amount of hours that we allotted them. And then they would pay extra for hardware and stuff like that. So it is changing. We are, now using a lot of the managed service terms, and we have service agreements and stuff like that, but kind of done that a little bit while. However, I still have some clients. I have a lot of clients that have been with me 20 years.
Yep.
They still don't want to do that. They will still pay me when they need me, when something breaks.
Yeah, I remember the day. So let's change the subject. Your passion project, Podnutz Pro. I've been on it a couple of times. Thank you. So what is that? What is that podcast format? What are you doing?
So Podnutz Pro is a show for business techs, IT professionals, owners, managed service providers that are supporting businesses. So Podnutz Pro was a show on a network, Podnutz, where the original shows were focused, to IT professionals, computer repair shops, but it was only for the residential and the small business. So Podnutz Pro was an introduction into the, small to medium business, enterprise. And so we focus a lot of our show on that. We talk with other technicians and, gain perspective on how they support businesses. We have vendors on and talk about all of the things that they can do to help us, from RMM products and network testing and stuff like that. So that's what the show's about.
Yeah, and I'm looking over on screen number 2 at your site, and the link is in the blog below. 298 issues or 298 shows. Super lawyer Bradley Gross, and then you had let's see, maybe something closer to tech. Let's look at key essentials for a managed backup solution with Damian Stevens. So maybe let's take a shot at that. What's the typical format? You had a guy talking about backup solutions. Maybe what was going on there?
So the typical format is, there is no format. It basically is, we try to have some talking points to keep us on track, but we get on and just talk about whatever comes up. And if it's a vendor, obviously we try to get their perspective on, what relates to their product, how that relates to the managed service provider. We provide an opportunity for techs if they want to learn about the product. Obviously, they can contact the person. So, for instance, the Servosity show with Damian Stevens, That was basically to talk about, what types of things should an MSP have in their managed backup solution. Now, of course, Savosity does that, and we talk about their product. We talk about other companies as well. So we have all different types of company to get different perspectives. Bradley Gross is a technology attorney, and he helps us with crafting our managed service agreements, our scopes of work.
Oh, okay. So there is a tie-in. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's always a tie-in, even though we may not say it in the title. For instance, one of the shows was Board Lunch Conversation.
Saw that. Yeah.
But basically, that's me getting other techs on, and we just talk about, things that happened during the week, things that have gone wrong, customer stories, things like that. So it's always technical based somehow. It's just a matter of whether it's just text talking or me interviewing a vendor.
And how the duration? I've been on your show twice. The duration, I think we were on for almost 60 minutes, longer format, which I applaud. By the way, I always call that sort of the public radio, public TV format. We don't quite go that long with our approach, but so are often the shows 60 minutes? Is that a common length?
That's probably a good average. There are some shows that are shorter, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. There have been some much longer shows. We've actually gone over the 2-hour mark a couple of times. Sometimes I'll split them up, but sometimes I'll publish them out as a single show. But it depends. If I've got somebody on and they just, we get really engaged in a topic, or there are times where you don't want to just end just to end.
Yeah.
And so I allow our guests to go as short or as long as they want.
Yeah, cool. And then maybe the final question for this chat is the frequency. It looks like anywhere from once to twice a week as I kind of look over your offerings.
So the show is not scheduled. So it's pretty much whenever I can fit it in.
Yeah.
And the usual schedule is about once a week. And I usually will give an option of a Wednesday afternoon or Friday at lunchtime. And if we have special guests, then it'll be another time. But we try to keep it at least once a week.
Yeah. And it looks like it. So folks, give it a listen. The Podnutz Pro, the link is in the blog below. And Marvin, we're going to get you back next month, and maybe we'll double click into the topics of the day. But I wanted to do a hello world, and thanks for being part of our community.
Well, thank you for having me.